Welcome back to Disco, guys. So last time we kind of came over to the church side of Martinez. We went through the fisherman's shacks. We're looking for where these kind of small percentage chances of this assassin, the person who killed Lely. Because we did a bit of calculating, and there's like an 80% chance it was someone right on the balcony, but there's a chance that it was some other places. So I came over in the hope of finding them, but it's getting pretty late. So I think I have to make a decision basically as to whether talking to the Hardy Boys and Clashy might be time sensitive at this point. Like if I let the day finish without completing these conversations, it might not be there tomorrow, but I don't really have any new information to go to Titus with, even though we could still do the skill check and we could put a point into drama to do the thing with Clashy. So I'm just going to continue to explore over here and talk to people. I don't have enough money to rest for the night anyway. At 11 o'clock, Clashy won't be available anymore. So I'm just going to risk it, guys. I hope that it's not time sensitive talking to them. I hope they'll just appear again in the morning. We've found quite a bit of real here, so we might, find enough to at least spend some of the night back at the hostel at the Whirling in Rag. So I'm just going to continue exploring, talking to people, fleshing things out here. We had a fabulous conversation with the cell. It was that was empathy really paying off, right? It really felt like empathy was the ruling emotion there. We kind of had a bit of a breakdown. A cell, we helped her along. We donated our hat to her, which is a shame, but I'm not going to put another hat on for the time being because our other two hats look a bit silly, if I'm being honest. We do have a skill point that I think we'll probably wandering around here, pick up enough experience to get another one for drama, so I might whack it into savoir-faire. I'm still not sure how, if you have like a certain number of dominant voices that end up contributing more than the others. So I might just bump this into savoir-faire, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and talk to these chaps, these electro music guys in the tent.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Man, this music sounds awesome already.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
Sure.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
He points his thumb at the lieutenant.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I think you're younger than me, Kimmy.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
Alright, fine. You're too square for this round hole.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
He gestures for you to squeeze in. Alright, party time. See you later, Kimmy. Yes! Smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether. Let's get this torch off first. Oh, yes! Canisters filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled. A pile of nasal sprays, brand name Nosafed Ultra. A speaker, the big kind they use for live music. This tent didn't look this big, but... Right, who do we talk to first? Let's talk to the dude with the spiky hair.
You see a youngish man bleaching
Andre.
the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You too, buddy.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
Sure.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
And Egghead. Egg!
That really isn't what you look like. You've got a full head of hair there. The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably anodic music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
I like it, guys. Wait, how many music venues have you organised?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
Great, why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
What, is that you, Horrific Necktie? Are you a vampire? What is this guy?
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
This guy sounds so innocent with his southern accent. He sounds so earnest and expressive with his voice.
Place is a shithole.
This guy's a bit more uncouth.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something you wanted? Your friend Acel said, no. There's no need. The place is pretty bad.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
It seems like this character's been based on Russell Brand. Uses very fanciful language to get across his points, which ultimately do nothing but confuse you.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
Enough histrionics. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads. Burnouts.
He angrily spits on the screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that. The word.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
Are they foreigners? I bet they're foreigners. I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch. Shake your head gravely. I feel like you may be laying this out a bit thick. What's really so bad about the dopeheads and burnouts? I think I'll go for option number 3.
They're spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just wanna spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll look into it. Tell me more.
All right, man.
He claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
What's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
What about the key? How long have these people been locked in there? What about the key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
The speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden, cool and fused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies towards you.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left.
It's all in the accent, guys. It's all in the accent. If I talk like this for all of those checks, 83%, 72, we're going to hit them all. Bob's your uncle.
Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Thanks, man.
The speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
How long have these people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
He shrugs. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
This guy is an amateur. 85%? They're practically dead. 85% isn't good enough when you're dealing with another person's physical well-being, sunshine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. I guess it wasn't very hardcore of us to just lock them in like that.
Me too. I shouldn't have that kind of power over another person. I'm not the one with the violence monopoly here. You are. I'm glad that key is out of my hands now.
The guile of Southerners, eh? Right, other questions.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them, and you want the police involved?
Well, there's also the machinery.
He leans in for emphasis.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
Huh.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Maybe it's a makeshift hospital.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
This droid of Egghead, man. What is this?
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
For this man, even regular silence is awful enough. But that was something greater.
But you haven't physically seen anyone?
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
What was that about? Something watching you?
Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man.
A crab man?
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour.
Are you sure there was a crab man?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
You fellas have been doing way too many drugs.
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid?
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
The implications of this are too numerous to consider. Proceed with caution. Learn all you can before entering that dark building. There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
Thank you, Logic. You're bound to think you're bound to think that it's nonsense, aren't you? Can you tell me more about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
So how can you be sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't even seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. but I am.
Why not? Let's go with that.
I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument.
I'm 70% sure they're substance users. Don't let the technology fool you.
Damn it. Alright, let's talk about something else.
Sure. What?
You mentioned some kind of ecclesiastices own the church. Who are these ecclesiastices?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
Before we go on, what do you mean by meteoran?
You know, of Meteo, concerning Meteo.
What?
Meteo, a country on Muindi, on the Muindi Isla.
He looks at you, squinting his eyes to see if you're kidding. And what is the founding party?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation.
And
they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericanassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the innocentic system, no?
Alright, I'm going to stop with this accent now, I apologise. Right. The founding party. We haven't really had much mention of religion, have we? Right? I don't think we have. Not heard. Have we heard a few "Oh my gods" or anything like that? I'm not sure. Powerful religious organisation. They have roots in ancient mass society. Pericanassian Church. Anoint the innocent. Innocentic system. It doesn't sound like they'd appreciate a dance club in their church.
You're totally wrong about that.
He shakes his head.
The Pericanassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericanassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance!
He violently shakes the tape player, as if to see if he can break it. Yeah, it'd be interesting if we do have to have any religious discussions here. I mean, if you've heard me go on about anything before, you know that I'm a pretty staunch atheist. But it's interesting, you know, when you hear about religion that's mixed in with, you know, the government and the rules and the laws of the land. This can lead to a lot of problems and stagnation.
Love is hardcore!
Yes.
Unity!
Unity.
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse!
He turns the volume up and then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you'll now break into dance. I don't quite understand what you're talking about. What's a posse?
Your posse's like your people, man. Like you got your cup posse, you look out for each other and you party together. That's a posse.
I don't think you've met Kim before, mate.
And where is your posse, detective? Nothing comes to you.
Wow, we're failing.
The world is silent.
Well, we're failing a lot of checks. Yeah, this is the result of me not upgrading my skill tree as much as I probably should be. It sounds like you're just saying random things. Love, posse, make noise.
Are we?
He looks at you mysteriously.
Yeah!
The one with the large head really enjoys it when his friends get mysterious. I guess love can be pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, it can.
He's coming around. You're getting it.
He nods at his friend, then turns to you with a mischievous grin. Mischievous? Mischievous? Mischievous. It's mischievous, isn't it? I've always said mischievous. My whole life. Right. I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. Nordic music is about love, and so is the Pericanassian Church. No, this is too much. No sane organisation would want this level of absurdity in their church. I mean, that is true, but let's just go along with them.
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
Yeah!
Seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in his hand. Approvingly so.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
Maybe.
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if, they get this club going. You've got it in you.
Isn't that place not going to exist if we get these signatures for Everard? I wanted to ask you about this tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
You brought your own water?
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even is running water.
It's distilled as well?
Oh,
He doesn't know what to say.
it's the one they sell at the fuel station.
I hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here.
It does, doesn't it?
Told you we have a smell problem.
Wait, I also smell ether. Why? It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent like laundry detergent. Ether?
Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid?
No,
It's mixed in with a peculiar chemical scent like a laundry
He
detergent.
sniffs the air, then shrugs.
You guys have deadened your senses.
It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share.
Yeah, you don't say logic.
Unlike the girl outside, however, the boys' breathing is regular. Their jaws stay put and their pupils aren't dilated, so they're not under the influence currently.
76. I feel like putting a point in savoir-faire, guys. I don't know why. What's with all the nosophed?
The what now?
He leans in to hear you better. Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The nosophed Ultra, you've got a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra. I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
You sound fine to me. Your enunciation is pristine.
Yes, that's all Nosoped's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
Nosophed is the shit.
Let's not ask for some.
Yes. What?
Enough of this.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Now we missed so many 83s. I mean, this is about the same chance as those had to miss, right? That's all for now.
As always.
We need to talk to the others, but let's just see what... I think we've got some clothes that benefit logic. Unless it was the hat I got rid of. Logic's already getting a +2 bump from the shirt and from the glasses, so I don't think it's going to get much better than this. It's going to get a little better. I'm not going to put a point in if we miss it though. But we should talk to the other fellas first.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and parts.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hand through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Sign?
Yeah, gotta compare. See if we can align.
Interesting.
I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is way off. But I'll see what I can do.
Continues to rearrange his tools. What machines did you see in the church?
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
What's wrong with the supernatural?
Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it though.
The sickest. That's perhaps why it should be researched.
Supernatural, so you think it's real, that it actually exists?
Most of it doesn't exist, but there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist, because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff.
Psionic powers. Yeah, I mean, I think about with the moralist thing and maintaining the status quo means things that are deemed wrong, it become very difficult to change, you know, like with drug laws and stuff, when in reality a lot of naturally grown substances just should be treated as such, right? It's only really the chemical made ones that you should be wary of, right? Or over things that have been processed in a strange way. Why are you called Noid?
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
Picks up some sort of widget.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
Does this mean we need sign matching?
Yes, further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve this would be by getting us into the church.
Alright. Not looking forward to this one.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Walshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
This guy in the picture has no hair, dude.
as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secrets.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega!
Alright.
Here comes the night!
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Solve the egghead puzzle. There has to be some way to talk to this person. I just haven't found it yet. It's definitely not about signs. What if you just try again? Find your way out of this maze of things to say.
The young man
This is hardcore!
Is it?
It's hardcore!
You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibber-dee, skibber-danger! I am the rearranger! Back to the heavyweight jam!
Says the young man with the tape player and the large Wadero boots, lung-shaped tree sprout on his silver belt buckle.
Hardcore!
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
But is it? I mean, really?
Yeah!
You can yeah and say random things all day long, but the track still doesn't sound all that. Yeah!
Kierski, materialski!
Damn it.
We're close.
Says the young man with the tape player and the large Wadero boots, lung-shaped trees, yeah.
True, hard, full, car! Hardcore!
But is it?
Yeah!
You can say yeah and say random things all day long, but the track still doesn't sound all that hard to me.
Spinning out lyrics since the day I was born. And the amount of lyrics I got is against the law. We're close. True, hard, full, car! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega! Internally coherent.
I was wondering if you knew who killed the mercenary hanging behind the whirling in Rags hostel.
All car! All right! Yeah!
Say nothing.
he furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
Let's have an agonized roar over the feeblish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. I meant to say, guys, it's probably late to say this, but I'm going to put my schedule up on my channel banner on my channel homepage. Basically, it's not going to be much different. It's just Monday to Friday, it'll be the double uploads at 4 and 10. But then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm just going to have one video on each day. Yeah, so then that's 12 videos. 12 videos in the week, basically. Okay. No, seriously, I'm a little worried it's not hardcore.
The question is, what is the question?
That would have been good if I had asked you a question, but I didn't. Now it's just idiotic.
But there was a question?
No!
We're close. True, hard.
Say nothing.
Hardcore,
Say nothing.
hardcore to the
Say nothing.
Internally coherent.
Say nothing.
All car, all right.
He furrows
nothing.
his brow.
Hardcore.
So
Is
hardcore.
it though?
I was just thinking that a moment ago.
One mind, one spirit.
No!
True, hard.
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hard,
nothing,
internally
nothing,
Car. All right.
nothing.
Furrows his
Hardcore.
Is it?
The question is, what
Just answer the
but
question.
There was no question. We're close. True. Hard,
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hard,
nothing.
Internally coherent.
The mercenary behind the whirling in rags.
Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeko Kata, the place to be.
I'm beginning to think this really doesn't have anything to do with the case. You said that before. Why is Yakota the place to be? What does that mean?
Yeko Kata.
Damn it.
We're true.
Nothing,
Hard,
nothing,
hard,
nothing.
internally coherent.
Whirling in rags.
Good morning, yeah.
I'm beginning to think this really doesn't have anything to do with the
It's
case.
a message, so listen and you will see. No illusion. We're close. True. Hard.
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hard,
nothing,
internally
nothing.
All car. All right.
Please tell me what
Yeah,
you're doing.
Gotta get the people going.
Why?
I'm the party boy. It's my job.
What is a party boy?
Hardcore party 25/7. We're close. True. Hard,
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hard,
nothing,
internally coherent.
nothing.
All car.
What are you
Gotta
doing?
Get the people going.
I see.
Yeah. We're close. True. Hard,
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hardcore,
nothing,
internally coherent.
nothing.
All car.
Please tell
Gotta
me
get the people.
why.
I'm the party boy. It's
I'm
my
also a
job.
party boy.
Two on a track. Watch your back. We're close. True. Hard,
Nothing,
hard,
nothing,
hardcore,
nothing,
internally
nothing,
All
nothing.
furrows.
Hardcore.
It's not.
The question is, what is the question?
I already asked you a question. I hadn't asked you a question.
But there was a question?
No.
Hardcore, internally
All car.
He furrows.
hard. The question is.
Answer the
what-
question.
But there was no. True. Hard. Foot. Hardcore. Internal.
All car.
He furrows.
Hard. Is it though?
It is.
But is it? I mean, really?
The question is, what is the question?
No, but seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
He frowns, then starts bobbing his head back and forth once more. You said you were worried. What do you think is wrong with the music?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm still in love with the hardcore.
He turns pensive all of a sudden.
Sometimes I just feel like anodic music is in its infancy, you know? For example, take this Arno van Eyck jam I've been pumping for the last month, and will continue pumping for the rest of 51.
Yeah, dude, this is the exciting part when you don't really know what it is yet.
Isn't something holding it back from being hyper?
He thinks for a moment, then his expression clears.
It's like it's only ultra.
I think it's super hardcore, but you're right. It's not hyper hardcore.
Yeah, it's super hard. It's only ultra hardcore.
It is, isn't it? I knew it.
He nods in agreement.
But how could it become harder core? I know the answer in my heart, but cannot think it in my head. If this is not hyper, how could anything be?
Sounds suspiciously like a question. I thought the question was, what is the question? Try to think if anything could make it harder core. Wait, I just remembered something. I'm the police. I can't help you with this right now. I need something else, something extra. Sounds suspiciously like a question. I thought the question was, what is the question?
No! This is the answer!
Try to think if anything could make it harder core.
What? Guys, there's something happening in his head.
He looks at you with customary amazement. Think even harder.
Oh yeah! He's doing it!
But you're not. This is almost certainly a matter that surpasses the limits of reason.
Conceptualization maybe, or Inland Empire? My imagination fails me.
I know! So does mine!
Wait, I'm remembering something. I'm the police.
Uh-huh.
The young man is bursting with anticipation. Nothing. Me being the police isn't going to help us. Actually, it's more likely to hinder us.
Oh!
I can't help you with this right now. I need something else, something extra.
Yeah!
Are you a thought reader? Challenge. Maybe your body can. This physical instrument. We're never going to get that.
No nation, but transnation! No war, but class war!
So you're not a thought reader. You're a communist.
He's not a communist. It's just something he likes to yell. He picked it up from a tape jockey at the Elysium. She was a communist, though.
Yeah! With a rebel yell!
So does that mean you're a thought reader?
Don't be a lunatic. Of course he isn't. Jermaine here just yells random things. Odds are, sooner or later one of them will come off as thought reading.
Yeah! Revachol imperative!
Unless you were thinking Revachol imperative right now. Anyway, I've had a similar thing happen with eggs yelling. I know what you mean.
You're right, that's not what I was thinking.
Hardcore superstar!
It's good you're not a communist anyway, you should be an ultra-liberal. Communists are pansies. Can't fight invaders with internationalist babble. You need the strength of a pure nation. Best not to be a communist. Having extreme views on issues is detrimental to understanding all sides. Yeah, let's go moralist.
Oh sure, I can do that. If you want that, I can avoid taking a stand.
He nods.
Please don't turn him into a moralist. I don't even know what to say to that.
Be a moralist, Egghead. The balance needs your help. Don't be a moralist. Wait, what am I saying? You should consider your choice carefully and rationally. Don't be a moralist. That path requires a sensible examination of all nuances unattainable to most people. No, that sounds like the bureaucrat. Yeah, be a moralist, Egghead. Why not?
Aye!
Yeah, he yells. You guess Egghead is a moralist now. Tell me something else.
Time to compromise!
He looks at you with an almost impossibly wide, shining grin, looking to see if you approve. Obviously, one shouldn't get too hasty with their decision-making. Almost there. Could use just a bit more something.
Incremental change!
Appropriate.
I'm swiftly moving toward a solution which pleases nobody.
What have we
You feel
done?
Jermaine Egghead's smile is too enthusiastic. But it'll have to do for now.
Jermaine?
Dark-cord hardcore! Jermaine Egghead!
Basically, yes it is.
Why are there lungs on your belt buckle?
Lungs are for love!
Why?
When Dolores Day was anointed innocence, her lungs started glowing through her body. For the world loved her, and she loved it back.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
That doesn't sound too likely.
But that's what everybody saw. Explain it as you please. But it doesn't really do to just deny it ever happened.
All right! Here comes the night!
Right, we can bump our physical instrument a little bit, right? A little bit.
The large head
Incremental progress! Yeah!
Oh, that was funny. It's not the kind of thing you feel that strongly about, is it? Right. Let's give this a shot.
You know it in your lungs where the pressure should vibrate, in your heart that's alone, and in your solar plexus where the hits should land. So does every chordate animal.
Finally, a bit of justice, guys. A bit of justice. Needs more bass.
What?
The young man makes a sudden move like he's about to turn the volume down, but that'd be ridiculous. And a melody. A good melody is what makes the song really stick, so that you can't get it out of your head anymore.
Wow, okay. We should start with the melody. But where would we get that stuff from?
I don't know, I was thinking you would know. Nowhere. I'm not going to become some sort of anodic cop too. I've got enough copo types already. I don't know, I was thinking you'd know.
I'm sorry. I don't know anything about anodic music. I'm just the party boy. I get the people going and say it's hardcore.
Dude, you're too self-aware now.
He feels ashamed he can't be of more service to the future of dance music.
Alright, I'll look into it. In an official capacity, it's up to the police to make the beats go harder. Alright, I'll see if I come up with something on my own. A citizen investigation. Yeah.
The young man falls silent with appreciation. He even tries to contain his smile, as if it could hinder your investigation.
Basically, what you need to find here is a tape with some banging music on it, so that Egghead could use it to remix Van Eyck's jam.
Yeah, maybe that street hawker across the pawn shop has got some tapes to sell. That's just an idea.
I've got one, haven't I?
Anyway, that's all yours to figure out, Copman.
Copman!
I'd like to listen to the tape first. Was there a check with noise?
Huh?
No.
Hi again.
And this was
So,
logic.
How are things going? As always.
Right. The shirt was logic. And that's about it, right? And the hat. The shirt, the hat.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyse.
Okay, so the Speed Freaks want to start a club
Three?
for dance music. That much checks out. Youths like music. You feel as though you might have liked music more when you were young, too.
A
But
3?
we digress.
What's the gist of it?
The gist of it is, they want to turn the church into a club, but a suspicious element has overtaken the building. It's very important to understand what the gist of things is. Always consult the gist before making up your mind. This is going well. Plus, and it has to be considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out. It still feels as if this didn't quite go as it should have. But
As always, we'll...
Alright, fellas. I'll catch you later. We need to check this tape out and listen to it first, because there might be several that we could infuse. Maybe? I don't know. But we do have a tape. Alright, boombox. The smallest church in St. Sans.
the porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing.
Let's wait.
Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cessons, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad.
My kind of music.
Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Claudia told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning.
I could sing this for karaoke. I think I could sing this.
Of course you could sing this. You could take sad to a whole new level with this. And you already know the lyrics since you've listened to it like 1,000,000 times. Yup, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way.
Gart.
Gart. You have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant looks at you as you remove the tape from the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
Oh, I am properly up for this. Yeah. Right, so we can talk to Estelle again, briefly.
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the...
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
I'll try.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
Could you tell me more about your friends?
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
She blows on her chilled fingers. What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
Fair enough. What about you, though?
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Alright.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
You others told me you went inside the church. What did you see?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
Try me.
She's less prone to blurting out Crab Man than the others.
We'll see.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Like a crab, you say?
The lieutenant nods, his face is stone. He didn't hear us talk about that. He wasn't in the tent. What did this crabman look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
She shakes her head.
Come on. She obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling. What did he really look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
Like the one we've got. Where did we pick that up?
A crab and a banger?
The lieutenant raises an eyebrow.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
A gangster crabman. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't believe me either. I'm surprised Noid did. Andre I expected, but Noid...
She shakes her head. Okay, that's terrifying. Estelle refused to talk about her friends. Maybe she'll open up later, after you've helped them set up the nightclub. Look into the spookers in the church. Alright. We might as well just keep walking around in the hope that we find something to do with these sniper locations, right? Speed up, chaps. I'm really excited about karaoke. I wonder if they're going to encourage us to sing ourselves, which will be bad news for you guys. Right, this is the church then. Yeah, we're never going to get back to the whirling. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. 3 experience points. So we've got the key. The sign reads Saint-Brun 1147. Dusty pews in the shadows, many seem to be missing. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. It's too dark to tell. We've got 2 skill points. I wanted to increase savoir-faire, so that's what we're going to do. There's the door. Let's just have a little look around the exterior first. Oh, a dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. This one's working though. We could ring up that girl. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change. You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Put 10 cents in and dial a random number.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. Yeah, it's me.
So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died.
It can get lonely even when you're with people.
Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. That was a bit sad. Buzz, hum, the electricity flows through the wires with audible power. Let's do some looting.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Let's take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
It might be a clue.
A clue? You think our suspect is a seagull who's been defecating on unsuspecting jacket?
Yes.
The lieutenant sighs. You should still take it.
Beautiful. It's an interact. I said that with a weird intonation then. Interact. Interact. I used to have a friend, and you know, like you say certain words with the intonation in certain parts of it, and I just remember we were going somewhere and he got a milkshake from Mackey's or something, and he doesn't say milkshake, he says milkshake. That intonation, and it just sounds so weird, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much, does it? Right, we'll interact with that later. But little things like that with language can really throw you off, you know? A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Megabino's prescription lenses. Well, that's locked. Okay. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. So this is one of the locations. That tarp will keep out neither rain nor snow nor wind. So this is one of the possible sniper locations. Maybe it needs to be daylight, I don't know. A big wine canister. It's open and empty.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
What is it?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be.
What's that smell, Kimmy?
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Eyes up, detective. Something's not right here.
Is that a body? Careful there, these floorboards look rotten and weak.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package.
Hang on. What about the body?
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Let's look at the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole. A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark. When damp, these boards are really slippery. Even a sober man could lose their balance here.
Let's examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all. He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved to be his last. That's what the chewing gum seems to point to as well.
Let's look at his clothing.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. The leather jacket suits him well. It must be custom made. A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue? Oh no, this sounds terribly familiar.
Let's see what's in his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Let's look at the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist. Be very, very careful where you step here.
Examine his head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch.
I mean, I can see where this chewing gum's going to go. I mean, if the flavour of it is the apricot flavour like the one we had before.
This is what killed him. This is where he came out of himself, drop by drop, when he was unconscious. It took 3, maybe 4 minutes.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
No, just this one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Let's look at the bottle.
A .75 litre Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us.
He looks at 2 other bottles forgotten near the coin-operated viewer. Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Rubowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Let's look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. Solidified on his lower rear teeth.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is...
What?
I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
The lieutenant shudders from the cold.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop.
Step on the floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Let's step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Who is he?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
He looks south, the way you came.
But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
A dead working-class man with a bottle in his hand? Don't deceive yourself. You know who this is.
We know who this is. It's the working class woman's missing husband, dead on the boardwalk.
The woman you met at the book stand? Why do you think it's her husband?
The blue lining. He looks at the bundle of flesh and rags lying on the ground. Why do you think it's her husband? Yeah, the leather jacket.
The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband.
He nods, then points at the ring on the man's left hand. What do you think happened?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Could be related to the lynching? Do you think he was drunk? What about the kebab? Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous. Think it has any connection? Probably not. Well, let's just ask.
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now.
So he was on the source.
Oh yes.
The lieutenant nods. Alcohol poisoning?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
The kebab? What, choke?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Yeah, someone should maybe be maintaining this kind of thing.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
He smiles sourly. All right then.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
Right, we need to check the library card. But we've run out of time for this episode, guys. I'm going to leave it there. We'll continue investigating this new body, even though we've not really finished investigating the last one, but this seems a bit more cut and dry. So yeah, we spoke to the three lads in the tent. That was quite amusing and quite interesting with the whole electronic music thing. And we've learned about the church, about the crab man. Can I get through an episode without sneezing? I feel like I'm about to sneeze. So we'll leave it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave me a thumbs up if you did. Just remember, everybody, never trust and uncrate. I'll see you back on the boardwalk.